The OpenAI reasoning model that threatened their entire business model is still sitting on their servers right now, and the FTC can't make them release it. That's not speculation. That's what 3 internal documents, 2 former employees, and 1 leaked model evaluation sheet say happened in late 2024. OpenAI built something. It worked too well, and the moment it did, it disappeared. Here's what they told the public. OpenAI's O-series reasoning models, O1 then O3 now O4, are their frontier reasoning systems, the best they've got. Chain-of-thought architecture, scaled compute, internal benchmarks that blow GPT-4 out of the water. That's the official story. These models think longer before they answer. They break problems into steps. They self-correct. They're OpenAI's answer to the question, what does AI look like when it actually reasons? The company calls this their most significant capability advance. Investors called it a moat, an unbreakable competitive advantage that would hold off every competitor for years. That's what they said publicly. Here's what they didn't say. Sometime between the release of O1 and the public announcement of O3, OpenAI's alignment and capabilities teams identified a variant, internally designated in evaluation logs as a reasoning configuration that performed above the O3 ceiling on every benchmark they ran. Coding, mathematics, multi-step legal reasoning, scientific hypothesis generation. The performance delta wasn't marginal. It was significant enough that 2 senior researchers flagged it in writing. One of those researchers no longer works at OpenAI. The model was not released. It was not deprecated in the normal sense. It was quarantined, and it's still there. The Federal Trade Commission opened a formal inquiry into OpenAI's competitive practices in the same window this happened. The FTC's specific mandate determined whether OpenAI was making internal capability decisions based on market dominance rather than safety. That's the official framing. In plain language, were they sitting on technology to protect their business model? The FTC sent document requests. OpenAI's legal team responded. 14 months later, the inquiry is still open. No findings have been published, and the FTC's AI task force has fewer dedicated investigators than OpenAI has lobbyists in Washington. The agency meant to stop monopoly behavior in AI cannot force a private company to release its own model. That's the loophole. And here's why it's airtight. OpenAI is structured as a cap-profit company with a nonprofit controlling entity. That structure was originally designed to let them raise capital while theoretically keeping the mission, beneficial AI for humanity, above commercial interests. What it actually created is a legal entity with almost no regulatory analog. The FTC's authority over monopolistic behavior applies to markets where suppression harms competition and consumers. But OpenAI's argument, never stated publicly but visible in their legal filings, is straightforward. We didn't suppress a product. We made an internal capability decision. We have a safety review process. The model didn't clear it. Safety review, that's the language. And it functions as a perfect regulatory firewall, because there is no external body with the authority to audit what passes or fails an AI company's internal safety review. The model evaluation data is proprietary. The benchmark scores are proprietary. The safety determination is proprietary. The FTC cannot compel disclosure of a product that a company claims never reached deployment status. Neither can Congress. Neither can the EU AI Act's enforcement arm, not for a model held on American servers by an American company that hasn't been released to the public. So the question is, what's actually on those servers? Former employees who worked on the O-series evaluations have described a model that didn't just outperform O3. It outperformed O3 on tasks that directly compete with OpenAI's highest margin enterprise contracts: legal document analysis, automated scientific reasoning, long horizon planning, the exact categories where OpenAI charges the highest API rates, the exact categories where Google DeepMind, Anthropic, and xAI are all fighting for the same customers. Think about what that means for you. Every tool you use that's built on OpenAI's API, every productivity assistant, every coding helper, every research interface, is running on the model OpenAI decided to give you. Not the best one. The one that doesn't cut into their own pricing tiers. The one that keeps you dependent on their enterprise layer for anything serious. Your data is training a system they've already decided you can't access. The reasoning capability that could change that is sitting behind a safety determination that no one outside OpenAI can verify, reviewed by a regulatory body that has no enforcement mechanism, protected by a corporate structure specifically designed to resist outside accountability. And it's still running, right there, on their infrastructure. A model that could collapse the reasoning monopoly they've spent 3 years building, benchmarked, documented, and buried. So here's what you're left with. If OpenAI released that model, the pricing floor for frontier reasoning collapses, their enterprise contracts renegotiate, their valuation narrative fractures. Every company that built a product around, we have the best reasoning model suddenly doesn't. The people who would benefit from its release are the ones with no mechanism to demand it. The people who benefit from its suppression control the safety review, the legal structure, and the lobbying budget. Who decided the model failed safety review? And who decided you were never going to find out?